I am Benny Smith, and welcome back to this early access game of Osiris New Dawn, Episode 9. If you saw my previous video, you know I now have a barracks and a computer. So, my way of editing these videos will be a slightly different way of the storytelling. I hope you enjoy this engineer's log. With that out of the way, let's get this adventure started. Indiana Smith's log. Sol 27 after landing. A lot's happened over the last 5 sols. But for the most part, it was quite exhilarating. But there is definitely some surprises. Let me pull up my head cam and I'll show you. Now that I have mostly comfortable place to live, I can better focus on my research throughout this system. I'll need a laboratory. So let's get that done. So for the laboratory, I'm going to need steel, cobalt, talonite, wire, ferrochrome, rubber, duralumin, 6Al, 4V, and a diamond. Diamond, check. Cobalt. With everything in hand, it was time for me to finally place down my laboratory. Taking my time, setting up just the way I want it, or at least close enough to be satisfactory, and I am done. There are many things I can craft in my laboratory. No Osiris mission personal assistant. But there's one outside my new habitat that I can just repair easily enough. Then we have the Osiris mission mining bot. I'd like to get one of those up and running eventually. It'll come in handy when I go foraying for specific materials. Osiris mission security unit. I don't think I need one just yet. And Meg Crab, I just don't see a reason for that. It'd be an interesting project to work on, but I don't need it. The hover bike should get me around a lot easier and quicker. But there's some materials I'm going to need to get first. Like GAV, ground assault vehicle, armored and armed. That one would be handy, but I don't need it. Rover would have a lot more carrying capacity than my current buggy, but I'm pretty satisfied with it as it is. And I can always make a second buggy for other projects. And then we have the heavy class AOAMU, a heavily armored walker unit. That would be fun, but a bit overkill unless I run into anything larger. And then Corsair. That one I'll eventually, or that'll probably be the next one I make. Though I'm not prepared for it just yet. I should have about everything I need for it anyway, except maybe the wire. Always short on the wire. But that'll at least get me into space, and I can potentially find out what happened on my entry into the orbit of this planet. Alright, I'm going to give myself my next mission of building and running a drill. Get through the crust and into the mantle of the planet. Start extracting some of the minerals deeper in the core. But first, let's get this personal droid up and running. After a night's rest, took a look at what I need for the deep terrain drill. Steel, battery, diamond, bronze, brass, hose, computer screen, and cast iron. With a battery and diamond already in hand, time to get the rest gathered together. With all the materials gathered, it's time for me to place down the drill. Decided to pick a location not far from my base, so I can keep an eye on it, but hopefully far enough away that the noise won't be too bothersome. With it placed, time to turn it on. The drill is quite loud, though I did turn down the volume of the input for this section of the cam recording. So any who listens to this log won't be too annoyed with the sound, and so you can actually hear me. But that aside, you won't get any material in the hopper until after it's reached until the drilling core shaft has reached 100%. And then it will slowly start accumulating materials. But before you can get to that point, it's a matter of waiting and defending. Yes, defending. None of the local wildlife likes the drill, at least until it reaches the depth to the core, after which they will no longer attack. But until then, you have to defend it and repair the drill. If you're wondering why I was using melee weapons and not the gun, it's because I've got limited ammunition. And a good thing I did, and also a good thing I stopped the drill, because I had run out of ammo. And I had to fight this large crab monster by hand. Just a good thing it was more interested in the drill than it was in me. But with the drill down, it was a matter of removing all the unwanted creatures and repairing. Definitely gonna need to see about getting something with more firepower, or get more ammo for my gun. With the drill repaired and it being so late, it's time for bed. And in the morning, it was time to start prepping for the defense. First thing I did in the morning was to make some wire, or what little of it I could make anyway, and then go hunt for some more material, rubber and plastic. Unfortunately, on my drive out, I got myself stuck. And then I got really stuck. I was eventually able to get myself free. But before I could, I couple of meteors came crashing down, and one of them not too far from my location. And shortly after I got the buggy unstuck, I headed that direction. But not before I had a low fuel warning. Good thing I always carry fuel with me. And yes, after I drained these two, topping it off, I made sure to fill them, plus the other empties I had with me. So I would always have fuel in case of emergencies like this. And of course, I had to say hello to the worm. I had originally gone out to the dune to look for the chest that was out there previously. But apparently whatever scavenger liked to put stuff in there had moved it. Apparently it didn't like me taking stuff out of it. Oh well. My main objective out here anyway was those fabricated objects. You know, anything that came from the crash on my entry here. I'll find some scrap metal and scrap hinges with the occasional broken glass, scrap metal, scrap rubber, scrap hinges. The next day, another meteor, another collection. And as I said earlier, always make sure you're topped off with plenty of extra fuel. Never want to get stranded anywhere. And if you're wondering, yes, I did go back into the ship to see if there was more scrounged objects left behind. Not much, but better than nothing. Well, maybe sometime there'll actually be plastic or rubber in there. Who knows? Now that I have scrap rubber, it's time for me to turn it into rubber. And in order for me to get my gun upgrades, I need the high precision upgrade for the forge. And now I have the ability to make magazines for my assault rifle, and if need be, make a pistol and blaster cells for it. While the assault rifle magazine needs titanium and steel, the T19 assault rifle and the Dia 72 assault rounds needs the assault rifle magazine plus one other component. The DS-72 unfortunately uses diamonds. I don't have a lot of those. But the other, I have plenty of the tungsten required. Now that I have the magazine rounds, all I need to do is load the rifle and ready myself for the assault on my drill. But that will be for my next log. I've already defended it, but I am in need of a rest. Be ready for my next log for the details of the outcome. Indiana Smith, logging out. I hope you enjoyed this adventure. If you liked the video and like to see more, click the buttons that do the things. And if you have any comments, leave them below. And until next time, keep adventuring.